Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I am going to be recapping Once a Future Coda, the final act, which was originally released in November 2024, and I'm recording this episode around about 6 months later on the 5th of June 2025. But before I get on with the recap, that as I've mentioned in previous episodes, that for the big finish I'm choosing one story, and it tends to be an hour, not necessarily from each range to do, and this one was definitely one of them. Like most of them, I kind of knew, okay, this is the one I want to do. For Once a Future, it's very difficult because it was between two. So it's between Coda, the final act, which I'll be recapping in a minute or so, and the Martian Invasion of Planetoid 50, which stars David Tennant's 10th Doctor, Michelle Gomez's Missy, and the 10th Doctor, Missy, and the Paternoster Gang. And I was kind of like, which one do I go for? And I went with this one because it's the end of the run, and I thought it just made more sense because the other 7 are kind of one story, and this is just more standalone-y. But before there is actual playlist of Once a Future, which I think includes my recap or review, I think it was then, of the first Once a Future story, so go and check that out. Without further ado, here's my recap of Once a Future Coda, the final act. The War Doctor exits his TARDIS and says goodbye to River and Susan. I should mention that that's kind of taken from the end of the previous release, which is Once and Future, the Union. The War Doctor's TARDIS starts to malfunction. The Fugitive Doctor attempts to trap the War Doctor's TARDIS. We then have the theme tune. The War Doctor insults the Fugitive Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor attempts to defend herself. The War Doctor tricks the Fugitive Doctor. The War Doctor gifts the Fugitive Doctor with a living ram. You can see why I've not just put the Doctor, because it would be making no sense at all. The Fugitive Doctor asks questions about the War Doctor. Several events from past Once and Future episodes are mentioned. The Fugitive Doctor learns that she only has 15 hours to capture the War Doctor. The War Doctor meets Vienna. The War Doctor mentions his ability to change his appearance through regeneration. The War Doctor wants to have a private conversation with Vienna. The War Doctor shows Vienna a picture of the Fugitive Doctor. Vienna believes the War Doctor is being petty whilst mentioning the Time War. The War Doctor mentions Vienna's fractured timeline. Vienna compliments the Fugitive Doctor. Vienna introduces the War Doctor to a creature. The War Doctor gets annoyed at Vienna. Vienna tricks the War Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor reunites with Vienna. Vienna shows the Fugitive Doctor where the War Doctor should be. The War Doctor has somehow managed to escape. The War Doctor apologises to the creature he escaped with. The War Doctor mentions degeneration. The War Doctor realises he won't return to normal for another 13.5 hours. The War Doctor mentions his friends when he was his previous incarnations. Bernice gets annoyed at Mr. Dint. Bernice attempts to defend her actions. Bernice corrects Mr. Dint. Bernice mentions Mr. Dint's history degree. Bernice gives Mr. Dint a reality check. Bernice attempts to guess what she and Mr. Dint have caused. Mr. Dint continuously screams. Mr. Dint, no. Bernice chooses to follow Mr. Dint. Bernice communicates with the creature that's currently chasing her. The Fugitive Doctor saves Bernice. Bernice thanks the Fugitive Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor meets Bernice. Bernice knows the Doctor. Bernice expresses her pride in knowing the Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor threatens Bernice. The Fugitive Doctor informs Bernice that she is actually an incarnation of the Doctor. Bernice doesn't believe this. The Fugitive Doctor doesn't know who Bernice is. Bernice demands that the Doctor tell her what is going on. The Fugitive Doctor returns to her TARDIS. Bernice enters the Fugitive Doctor's TARDIS. The Fugitive Doctor reveals what she currently knows about who she is hunting down. The War Doctor compliments Bernice. The Fugitive Doctor gets annoyed at Bernice. The War Doctor communicates with the Fugitive Doctor. The War Doctor invites the Fugitive Doctor to join him on Coda in 3 hours. Bernice doesn't recognise the War Doctor. The Fugitive and War Doctors attempt to acquire armies. The Fugitive Doctor misnames Bernice. The War Doctor meets Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I believes the War Doctor wants to kill her. The War Doctor mentions Boudica and Genghis Khan. Queen Elizabeth I threatens the War Doctor. Queen Elizabeth I believes she knows the War Doctor. The War Doctor asks Queen Elizabeth I for her army. The War Doctor wants Queen Elizabeth I to come with him to Coda. The Fugitive Doctor sets a rule for Bernice being with her. Bernice reveals what her and the Doctor normally do. The Fugitive Doctor reunites with Shelva. Shelva threatens Bernice. Bernice recognises Vord. Bernice is released. The Vord reveals some of their issues with the Fugitive Doctor. The War Doctor reunites with someone. This person knows the order of the Doctor's incarnations. Queen Elizabeth I has agreed to let the Doctor have her army. Have her army. Bernice asks a member of the Vord about their relationship with the Fugitive Doctor. Bernice apologises. Bernice expresses her concern for the Fugitive Doctor. Bernice finds an armoury within the Fugitive Doctor's TARDIS. The Fugitive Doctor attempts to get more information about the War Doctor. Bernice mentions how all the other incarnations of the Doctor are essentially the same. The Fugitive Doctor insults Bernice. Bernice gives the Fugitive Doctor a reality check. Queen Elizabeth I seems to mention Dr. Dolittle. The War Doctor mentions his TARDIS's force field. The War Doctor questions him getting Queen Elizabeth I involved with the issues between him and the Fugitive Doctor. Bernice is insulted by one of the Vord. Bernice can't believe what she is seeing. Queen Elizabeth I mentions victory. Bernice mentions the TARDIS. Bernice searches for the Fugitive Doctor. Someone delivers an order. The War Doctor mentions the Vord. The War Doctor seems to regret some of his previous actions. The War Doctor can see Bernice. The War Doctor remembers who Bernice is. Bernice reunites with the Fugitive Doctor. Bernice believes another incarnation of the Doctor is currently on Coda. The War Doctor works out with some assistance from Bernice that the war criminal is actually another incarnation of the Doctor. The War Doctor mentions something Vienna told him. The War Doctor attempts to communicate with a creature. The Fugitive Doctor mentions division. The Fugitive Doctor asks Bernice to help her stop the battle currently taking place. Someone informs Queen Elizabeth I of something. The Fugitive Doctor and the War Doctor meet and discuss both being incarnations of the Doctor. The Fugitive and War Doctors telepathically fill each other in. The War Doctor mentions his TARDIS. The Fugitive Doctor mentions Queen Elizabeth I. The War Doctor insults the Fugitive Doctor's TARDIS outfit, rather. The War Doctor insults the Fugitive Doctor's outfit, rather. Bernice meets Queen Elizabeth I. Bernice mentions the Doctor. Bernice introduces Shelva and Queen Elizabeth I to each other. Bernice reveals what a creature wants. Shelva and Queen Elizabeth I agree on their feelings towards Bernice, as well as complementing each other's armies. Bernice attempts to locate the War and Fugitive Doctors. Bernice reunites with the Fugitive and War Doctors. Bernice knows what the creature is. The Fugitive and War Doctors reveal what this creature does. The War and Fugitive Doctors disagree over which TARDIS to use. Bernice picks the War Doctor's TARDIS. Queen Elizabeth I delivers an order. Bernice and the Fugitive Doctor insult the War Doctor's TARDIS interior. Shelva communicates with Bernice, the Fugitive Doctor, and the War Doctor. The Fugitive Doctor asks Shelva to stop. The Fugitive Doctor mentions the Web of Time. The War Doctor gives Shelva an order. The Fugitive Doctor proposes that her and the War Doctor merge their TARDISes. The Fugitive Doctor gives Bernice something to do. Queen Elizabeth I expresses her pleasure in being involved in a battle. The War and Fugitive Doctors successfully merge their TARDISes. Everyone celebrates. Bernice is concerned about the Fugitive and War Doctors. The Fugitive Doctor delivers an update to the people who hired her to capture the War Doctor. The War Doctor knows these people. The Fugitive Doctor's hirer mentions the Doctor's recent degeneration. The War and Fugitive Doctors give the Fugitive Doctor's hirer some advice. Someone is relieved that Queen Elizabeth I is somewhat still alive. Queen Elizabeth I mentions Shelva's sacrifice. Queen Elizabeth I apologises. The Vord considers Queen Elizabeth I a friend. The Vord thanks Bernice. The War Doctor believes him and the Fugitive Doctor were considered the weakest links of the Doctor's incarnations. The Fugitive and War Doctors reunite with Bernice and Queen Elizabeth I. The War Doctor says goodbye to the Fugitive Doctor, Bernice and Queen Elizabeth I. The Fugitive Doctor attempts to reassure Bernice. Queen Elizabeth I believes she has no purpose. The Fugitive Doctor drops off Bernice and Queen Elizabeth I. The War Doctor mentions the timeline being restored. Bernice and Mr. Dint reunite. Queen Elizabeth I reunites with a member of the Vord. This member of the Vord proposes a plan. The Fugitive Doctor mentions Cosmo, who is essentially her nemesis in the Fugitive Doctor series, and I have already recapped the Fugitive Doctor Most Wanted: The Dimension of Lost Things, so go and check out that recap if you haven't already. The War Doctor reunites with Vienna. The War Doctor apologises. Vienna named the ramp, and the War Doctor seems to reference Gallifrey. That is my recap of Once and Future Coda, the final act. The Fugitive Doctor will return in The Fugitive Doctor Dead or Alive, which releases in July 2025. Here's the trailer for The Fugitive Doctor Dead or Alive.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Fugitive Doctor, Dead or Alive.
I am the Doctor.
I am invoking the Blue Box Protocol, over!
I'm a traveller through time and space.
It's not an ordinary cloud, it's glowing.
And I'm gonna get you home.
Hello? Is that Pilot Officer Mahinder Singh Johal?
Where am I? When am I?
I wanted an adventure. I wanted to fly.
It means that he could be anywhere in time and space, in a plane full of TARDIS energy.
What is this? This voice from beyond? Are you some kind of oracle of the gods?
You abandoned me!
Can't be. Sedalis?
You're saying you've finally come to rescue me?
Consider this the end of the line.
They will never stop coming for us!
Kill them!
This is a time traveler's graveyard.
Division knows everything.
Congratulations! This time you're gonna kill us both!
Division is the law!
I've been feeling it for a while now. A foreboding, a psychic deterrent. Tangled in our web. Like a strangeness, a darkness. There is an emptiness inside you. Something ancient is stirring.
Surely you have no wish to run forever.
Time's up, Doctor.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the trailer for The Fugitive Doctor Dead or Alive, and I showed you that because that is the next time I will be discussing The Fugitive Doctor. And just a reminder that The Fugitive Doctor Dead or Alive releases in July 2025, so the month that you're watching this. So kind of, I might rejig some of the episodes dependent, but because of how Big Finish operates, we don't know the date. We know the month that things are being released, but we don't know the specific date until the month itself. But a few more returns. Now, the War Doctor will return in The War Doctor Rises 4, which releases in December 2025. No trailer for that as of yet. And Bernie Summerfield will return in The New Adventures of Bernie Summerfield, The Dalek Eternity 1, which releases in September 2025. And no trailer for that either. Now, back to this episode now. Where let me know what you thought of Once and Future Coda, the final act. If you listened to it, my recap, if you didn't, give your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want to cover on the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in this afternoon's episode UK time. Goodbye.